everyone, and welcome back to Days Out. And at the time of filming this episode, we're on the way to Cornwall. So what better way to stop in at the home of the Cornishman Express. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway. The 15-mile long Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway was part of the Great Western's main line from Cheltenham to Stratford-upon-Avon via Honeybourne. Opened in 1906, this cross-country route was completed in 1908, with the final section being from Bishopscleeve to Cheltenham, whilst in the same year the line from Honeybourne to Stratford was doubled. Following completion, a new station at Cheltenham Malvern Road opened, which avoided the need to reverse at St James's, which became used by locals only. Freight, meanwhile, consisted of local fruit and coal from South Wales. The line's most famous train was the Cornishman. Initially running from Paddington to Penzance from 1890 to 1904, it was replaced by the Cornish Riviera Express. Revived in 1952, the new service ran from Wolverhampton Low Level with through coaches for Kingswear. In 1962, the service started from Sheffield, running via Derby and Birmingham, moving further north to Leeds and Bradford in 1970. 2006 saw a revival of the service by the present-day GWR. Despite the introduction of intercity DMUs in 1957, passenger services were withdrawn in 1960, although a through service from Leamington Spa to Gloucester ran until 1968. However, passengers for Cheltenham had to travel to Gloucester before returning. Freight traffic continued until 1976, and shortly afterwards a preservation society was formed. The intention was to run from Stratford to Cheltenham, with the first stock arriving in 1981 and a light railway order granted in 1983. The first trains ran in 1984, reaching Winchcombe in 1987. This was followed by Gretton in 1990, Cheltenham in 2003, and finally Broadway in 2018. This last section required 5 bridge repairs, costing £400,000. Broadway is where we start. The platforms have been reconstructed from reclaimed bricks, whilst the footbridge is from Henley in Arden. The only original structure to survive is the goods shed, now owned by the Caravan Club. The signal box at Broadway is another new build. Based on the box at Shirley, its lever frame came from Aller Junction near Newton Abbot. So, this is our locomotive for today, Manor number 7820 Dinmore Manor, the first of the 1950 batch, built to the Cornish design of 1938. Now, although the Manors were more associated with Cambrian, this particular example worked at Plymouth, where she was used as a pilot, no doubt on the Cornishman. Drawn in 1965, she was preserved by the Gwylly Railway in 1979 and first steamed at the West Somerset in 1995. Approaching Toddington, we cross the 210-yard long Stanway Viaduct. This 15-arch structure stands 42 feet high, but during its construction, arches 8 to 10 collapsed. Toddington is the line's headquarters, and during its heyday was a major railhead for the fruit industry. It had a packing shed and the largest goods yard on the line, with 3 sidings capable of handling 20 wagons each. The station also dispatched milk, whilst the signal box was replaced in 1905. a footbridge was added in 1912, and a curiosity is that the water supply came from the nearby Stanway estate. When the preservationists arrived, Toddington was one of the few stations left. Restored between 1981 and 1984, the goods shed is now a workshop, whilst the signal box lever frame came from Earlswood Lakes, as the original had been sold to the Gwylly Railway. The railway's Restoration and Archive Trust is also based here. Formed in 2000, the collection is housed in the former Honeybourne signal box and Collet Brake 3rd number 185, whilst the third collection is on platform 2. Also at Toddington is a 2-foot gauge railway, opened in 1985 by the Doughty Railway Preservation Society. Formerly based at Ashchurch, the railway is home to locomotives from Europe and South Africa. On shed is modified hall number 7903 Foremark Hall. Outshopped in 1949, she was allocated to Old Oak Common and Cardiff East Dock. Rescued by the Swindon and Cricklade in 1981, she first steamed in 2003 and came to the railway in 2004. Diesel power was represented by Class 26 number 26043, Class 45 number 45149, Class 20 number D8137, whilst inside was Class 47 number 47376. Class 37 number D6948 was constructed by the Vulcan Foundry in 1964. Working in South Wales and Yorkshire, she was renumbered 37248 and withdrawn by EWS in 2003. Sold to the West Coast Railway Company, she came to the railway in 2010. Departing Toddington, we passed this Class 117 DMU. Outshopped by Press Steel in 1960, the unit was formerly based on the Mid-Hants, but has since been sold to the Bowness and Kinneil. Between Toddington and Winchcombe is Hales Abbey, a request stop opened in 2017 to serve the nearby abbey. The original halt opened in 1928 and had 2 wooden platforms accessed from the road bridge. Entering Winchcombe, we pass 4200 number 4270. One of 165 4200s, introduced by Churchwood in 1910, number 4270 worked exclusively in South Wales and remains in original condition with inside steam pipes and was restored from 2003 to 14. Winchcombe is the main passing point on the railway, and upon closure the whole station was completely demolished. So, a replacement was found at Monmouth Troy, which is the one we see here, which was erected in 1986. The platform slabs came from Snow Hill, whilst the signal box was from Hall Green near Birmingham. The loop was reinstated in 1997, and recently the station has found fame in the BBC drama Father Brown. Like Toddington, Winchcombe was once very busy with freight, and facilities here included cattle pens, a 6-ton crane and an up-refuge siding capable of holding 50 wagons. These were controlled by a 31-lever signal box, which remained in use until 1964, and today the goods shed is now used by the carriage and wagon department. Also at Winchcombe is this postal vehicle which houses a model railway started in 2010. Next to the postal van is an inspection unit built by Bagley Drury in 1976 for the Ministry of Defence, which worked at Kyneton in Warwickshire. Beyond Winchcombe is the 693-yard-long Green Tunnel.
The next station is Gothrington, which was reduced to halt status in 1940. Closed on the 13th of June 1955, the station is now a private house. At Gothrington, a passing loop has been installed to break the long single track section from Winchcombe to Cheltenham.
So here we are at Cheltenham Racecourse, the end of the line. The station here was opened in 1912 for race days only, the station being just across the road from the famous course home to the Gold Cup. It remained as such until 1976 and was reopened by the railway in 2003. Also at Cheltenham Racecourse is this rather splendid ticket office. It's a Swindon flat pack design made from prefabricated parts and constructed on site, and is the only surviving example of its kind.
So that was a visit to the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway. Hope you've all enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and feel free to follow me on Instagram. Link down below in the description. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all on the next day out. Bye!